I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Am I coming in clearly for you?
Yes, it's great.
Okay, good. You're coming in clearly for me. I had a little tech malfunction. Well, more like a slip up. My mouse just fell and everything got.
Oh no. We're here now. We're good.
I know, we're good. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thanks for asking. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And for those of you that don't know, this is a super seller session. Interviews with the top resellers in the world, of course, Angel being one of them. And I can't wait to dive in today. I know that you really have a lot of expertises to share with us. So thank you, Angel.
I'm excited for sure.
Awesome. Do you mind if I just give a little intro for you?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, cool. And also one for myself. So for everyone watching, I'm Alex. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at List Perfectly. And it's been a while since we've done a super seller session, but usually they happen every week, Thursdays at 4 p.m. So I'm really excited to get back to it and do these on a weekly basis. Super seller sessions are tips, tricks, and advice for the best resellers in the world. And Angel has been selling for 9 years part-time. That's really cool. You've seen the transition. I'm sure Poshmark and eBay and all of them look totally different now than they did back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
So cool. Can't wait to hear about that. You've sold 2,000 items, which is awesome. And you also sell on 6 platforms. You definitely see why List Perfectly is needed. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And also have experience with YouTube and consignment.
Yep.
Cool. Well, everyone, you can join List Perfectly with the code thriftybusiness. Is there a period in that code, Angel?
Yes.
Okay, so thrifty.business, just like your handle.
Yeah.
And also, just for being here, you're entered to win a month free of List Perfectly. So stay tuned. We'll be announcing the winner towards the next session. Awesome. Well, Angel, I would just love to start with how you got into reselling and what made you, list that first item. How did it all begin?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I have like 2 different dates that I refer to. So 9 years I've been technically reselling, but taking it seriously like 2.5 years. So I'll take you back 9 years ago. I just graduated high school in 2012, and my sister told me about this app called Vinted. Do you know what Vinted is, Alex?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember it.
So that was my first experience. And I actually sold a couple of pairs of my own shoes, and I messed up the shipping labels and I sent them to the wrong people. And it was just a terrible first experience, but here I am. Obviously I recovered. A few years later, I met my husband in college and we got married like in the middle of college. We were so in love. We were both in nursing school. We were both full-time track and cross-country athletes. So we didn't have time to really like work full-time jobs. And so I would run up to Goodwill and like buy running clothes for myself and then grab things to sell on the side. So that's when I started on Poshmark. And then a few years later, we had our first son and I really wanted to stay at home. And my husband decided to do travel nursing. So when our son was 3 months old, we like moved everything from the Midwest, went to Arizona, like threw it all in our tiny car. And I started reselling seriously like 2.5 years ago. Not only just to keep myself busy, but it's nice to have something of your own business. And so since then, I honestly like never thought I would love it as much as I do. Being a stay-at-home mom was like my dream job and still is. And now we have 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, but I have like such a passion for reselling. I don't think I'll ever leave it. So right now I'm very part-time. I consider myself very part-time, but I'm very invested in it and hope to be full-time once my kids are all in school. So it's kind of a unique situation, which is why List Perfectly is obviously amazing. We'll get to all of that for someone like me. Yeah.
That makes me so happy. Well, first of all, congratulations on being a mom of 2. That's awesome. And being able to live your dream of being a full-time mom.
Yes.
Awesome. I think so many people want to get into reselling for that flexibility. And for those of you that are watching that have a full-time or a part-time job that keeps you away from your family, reselling is definitely an option for you. And I've done interviews with many people, Angel, of course, today, but that have said the same thing. So yeah, it's really cool. So can you tell me what platforms are you selling on and where have you seen the most success?
Absolutely. So Poshmark is definitely my main one, the most success. And then eBay and Mercari are definitely my next two. And eBay I'm newer to, but it has been like taking off lately for me. So Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Curtsy, and a little bit of Facebook and Instagram. So that's where I'm at.
Very, very cool. And what is your best selling product or category or brand? It can be different for everyone.
Right, for sure. I think athletic wear is my favorite thing to sell, and I feel like it's so easy because people know their sizes, like Lululemon addicts, you know, I'm one of them. You know your sizes, and so that makes it easy. You don't have to worry about returns. That stuff goes quickly. And then boots, definitely during the right season, like Doc Martens, Sorel, Freebirds, Fry, all of that does well. And then lately, I feel like Revolve and Shopbop is really what I'm tuning into, those websites and seeing what brands are, you know, popular on there, because it seems like that's the stuff that's flipping for a lot of money. So that's kind of what I'm into right now.
That's so smart, because for those of you that don't know, Revolve is essentially like a website where you could get a bunch of different brands, and it has such a big following. Like, I think there are millions and millions of people on their mailing list. So people will literally look at Revolve and then go straight to Poshmark, straight to eBay, and search for what they're looking for on Revolve and see if they can get it for less. So that's very smart. Love that. Okay, so what has been your best, like your biggest sale ever? And tell us the story behind it.
Well, my biggest sale ever, there's been a couple. One was a Burberry men's like vintage trench coat that I found at Goodwill. So of course that's amazing because it's so cheap and I couldn't believe it. And it actually got returned the first time because I had sized it as a women's. It just didn't realize so, but it sold again for even more. So that was amazing. And then Freebirds I sent on eBay internationally, which international shipping, I'm still like figuring all of that out. It's so interesting, but I have had multiple sales internationally, so it definitely is worth something to consider if you're on eBay.
Very, very cool. So sounds like for the most part, it's that high-end designer. And then the shoes. I feel like everyone across the board always says the shoes do well.
Yes, and it's true. People know their shoe size. I mean, that makes it super easy. And I don't know, it's easy as a reseller to photograph them. It's more motivating to list them. I don't know, it's fun.
Okay, very cool. So tell us how you got to List Perfectly. Where'd you hear about us? And what are you using Perfectly for? How is it helping you?
Right, for sure. So I think the first time I heard about it was probably a few months ago from North Coast Style, which I know she works alongside you guys and she's amazing. And I'd seen her posting about it and I'm like, oh, that would be so amazing to get to use that. But, you know, then come all these reasons why I shouldn't, of course. You know, we're penny pinchers as resellers and my business isn't big enough. And someday, you know, I'll be ready for something like that. And honestly, finally in January, I decided to just take the plunge. My husband's great at that, pushing me. No, you need to take risks. And it seems silly now. It was not risky at all. It's like List Perfectly pays itself back in 2 seconds. You know, you make 1 or 2 sales on eBay or somewhere new, and it makes you realize this is ridiculous. I wish I would have been doing this sooner, because now it takes me less than a minute to list each item on new platforms. And I actually look forward to it before it would just fall through the cracks because I didn't feel like doing it and it was easy to make excuses. And so anyways, my profit tripled that first month in January just from being List Perfectly. Just 2 more sites. Yeah. So it is, I will never go back. So if I can like say one thing to everyone watching, like hear this, use List Perfectly. And honestly, I think the misconception that it's only for full-time sellers or whatever, that is not true. Honestly, even if you're just starting out, I would definitely recommend it from the start.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So for those of you that are maybe joining us that don't know what List Perfectly is really the #1 way to sell online. We have a suite of seller tools. Cross posting is one of them. So you're able to cross post to the most platforms with List Perfectly. Typically, it's going to save you about 80% of the time that you're listing. So when Angel says that it pays for itself, forget the triple profit, not triple sales, triple profit in your first month of using it, but just in the time that you save of listing, that right there pays for itself. Then of course, you're going to be able to manage more listings on more platforms and reach new customers and make those sales. But in addition to cross posting, we also offer inventory management, relist, delist, mark sold, all of those different kinds of tools, analytics and CSV, image management for those high resolution images, and quite a bit more. And also, Angel, I'm not sure if you joined us before this happened, but recently we began to offer unlimited products and unlimited cross posting for $0 extra. So it is definitely the most affordable it's ever been.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And we have lots of good things in the works. I think I'm like dying to share these things, but just know, you guys, that we have some really big updates coming soon. So it's always something that we're working on, and we're always listening to the community for feedback. But I love that you were able to just grow your profits so quickly. Normally we have the members reporting a 4 times profit over time, but to just see it immediately in that 1 month, it's just such a gift. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. And it's so cool to get all that time back and then choose what I want to do with it. You know, it's like I said, it's for everyone, whether you're part-time and you want that time to, you know, just have me time. I feel like sometimes I'm just running ragged. So just to have List Perfectly, not even just to reinvest in my business, but that too, to have the time for that, but to have more time with my kids. And, you know, whether you have a full-time job, I just think it has like blessed me in more ways than I could have ever expected, to be honest. So it's just been awesome to get to be on here and talk about that and tell people, because I wish I would have known, you know, how much it was for someone like me and not just full-time resellers.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm not full-time in this, so I don't want to invest in something. But it's like, if you're part-time, you want to get the most done in that time. You want to make the most bang for your buck, in other words. Like, you really do. And it's almost, I mean, I can't sit here and say this because I think the full-time sellers are like, no, this is just as good for me. But it's almost better for a part-time person, I would venture to say, because you really need that. You know what? I'll take it back. It's good for everybody, but part-time sellers too, because it really does help you save that time and get the most out of the limited time that you are able to put in.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have a lot of questions, which I'm excited about.
Awesome.
And just a reminder to everyone, you are entered to win a free month of List Perfectly just for joining, but you can also joining us today. But you can also join List Perfectly at any time. Code thrifty.business, which is Angel's social handle and handle on the different platforms as well, for 30% off your first month, all covered by our 3-day money back guarantee. So if you sign up, you will be protected by that. And that just makes it really easy for you to try it. So Angel, my favorite question is, what is the advice that you wish you could give yourself when you started reselling? If you could go back and kind of say, hey, like, I know this secret from the future, what would it be?
Honestly, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to share it anyways, because this is the advice I would give myself. Just to pick up brands, don't just pick up by trend. And I know people are like, source what you love. And I do believe that's true. Like, if you want to stay in this, you need to love what you're picking up and what you're doing. But at the same point, I see so many new resellers that I'm mentoring that are just flopping because the items they're picking up are not searchable. It's really hard to find them. And so I feel like once you build a name for yourself a little bit more, it's easier to start sneaking those items in, whether it's vintage. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but that would be, to me, I feel like I wish I would have known that sooner. I wish I would have picked up by brand a little bit more to begin with.
So smart. Oh my God, I never even thought of it that way. And you know what? It could be unpopular opinion, but I have to say that makes total sense. Because think about it, people are typically going, when somebody searches on a resale platform for the first time, they're typically like, I want this Adidas thing, but oh, you know, it's so unsustainable for me to get things new, or oh, it's so expensive, I want to get it for less. You know, so they're just going to go and look up that brand for when they make that purchase. And people really do shop by brand. They know their brands. When it's resale, they need to know the size too. So they're going to pick up that size from the brand that they already know or that they have in their closet.
For sure.
And so you're right. If you have mostly branded items in the beginning, you can start establishing your customer base, establishing yourself in the actual app itself, and then start adding in the more obscure or unknown brands and trends.
Yes, absolutely. And then with that, of course, and I'm sure everyone hopefully knows this, but then to be searching the sold items within that brand, whether it's on Poshmark or eBay, you know, just because you think a brand is good, or maybe you've never heard of the brand, it might actually be really good. So definitely get on to Poshmark, get a big stack of your stuff at the thrift store, and just take time to look everything up, because there are so many times where I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe, I'm like hiding this item so no one steals it from me at the thrift store, because I'm like, I did not know these were worth that much. So it's just constantly trial and error, and I still look up everything. There's always new brands to learn. So yeah, those are my tips for sure.
Excellent, excellent tips. So is there any other advice you want to give before we pick our winner today and answer some questions?
That is a tough one. I would say for new resellers, definitely start with the stuff in your own closet, and then get online, get into Instagram, get into reseller community so that you can learn. I feel like the way I learn about most brands that are trending is from other people, or even about List Perfectly. I found out from North Coast Style on Instagram. So definitely get a part of the reseller community if you're not already.
Agreed. Always start with what you have in your closet, or what your mom needs to get rid of, or whatever it might be before you go and invest, because you can always reinvest that money into your next batch.
Yes.
Very smart. Well, we have our winner today. So thank you for joining us. I want to say Styles by Terry, T-E-R-E. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you know her, Angel?
No, I don't. I'm
just
excited
cool.
for her.
Yes, Styles by Terry. We're going to DM you in a group message with Angel so that you can get your free month of List Perfectly. And for everyone else, again, join with code ThriftyBusiness, thrifty.business, for 30% off your first month and 3-day money-back guarantee. So before we go, we have some questions. And if anyone has any others, please do drop them in. But I did see some in here. So let me go up and make sure we get to all of these. Okay, so just going through these. So people are asking, does List Perfectly work on mobile? So List Perfectly does. We have a full mobile website, and you can do almost everything you can do from the computer except for the cross-posting itself. That is done from a computer, laptop, and even some tablets will allow you to do that. Actually, Angel, I have a question for you. When you use List Perfectly, do you cross-post from the catalog of List Perfectly to the platforms, or from platform to platform?
I do from platform to platform, just because to me that seems the easiest. But again, I'm still new to it. It's only been a couple of months, so I would like to play around with the other options. What do you recommend?
So I do recommend importing to List Perfectly and then cross-posting. How it works is when you download and install List Perfectly, which sounds like very technical, but it's literally 30 seconds of your life. So you install it, and then these little magic green buttons appear over all of your listings. So when you click those buttons to cross-post, one of the icons in that list is List Perfectly. So you just click that, and then it automatically goes into List Perfectly. It doesn't open new tabs like it does when you cross-post. It just goes into the catalog. So you don't actually have to review and publish on List Perfectly. So once it's in there, let's say you did that from Poshmark to LP, you'd have in your catalog a column that says platforms, and it will say Poshmark because you imported it from Poshmark. Then same thing like you would do, and it's very fast, right? Because like I just told you, it's no new tabs, it's just import. Then you would cross-post the same way that you would on Poshmark. You just go to your List Perfectly catalog and select the listings you want to cross-post, get that same screen and click your marketplaces. You send them off, and then in your LP catalog, it updates to every marketplace that you sent it to.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so now you know, okay, this is here.
Definitely going to do that.
Right. It's really helpful. And then when you have a new product, you would list it to List Perfectly first. And that's even better because there's a ton of different features in the listing form. So the listing form on List Perfectly is essentially like every listing form in one. And it also has a bunch of extra features. What plan are you using right now, Angel?
I'm on the simple plan right now.
Okay, so we're going to chat about this because I want to hook you up with the business plan. But when you get the business plan or the pro plan, you can do things like custom titles for every single marketplace. So you can put a different length for Mercari, a different length for eBay, all of that different stuff, which is super helpful. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different options. When you get all the way into the pro plan, it actually and let's say you added a product to List Perfectly in your pro plan, like we literally suggest keywords based on data from of your description alone. So it's like,
Wow.
it can get very, I don't want to say advanced because it's easy for you, but what you get out of it can be very customizable and advanced. So I will say though, no harm in cross-posting from platform to platform. That's like a great way to use it, but from doing it from LP, you do get benefits. However, we have some things in the works that will make it just as effective for the cross-posting from platform to platform. So I'll leave it at that, but lots of great things in the work.
Okay, you're getting me excited. I wish you could tell us now.
I'm like, I know. But in time, we're getting there. Big announcements coming soon, so that's exciting. Okay, so we have more questions. It says, I need you in Canada. So right now, we don't support international List Perfectly users, but obviously you can sign up from any country. And the good news is the platforms are pretty similar in Canada, but the problem is there are some discrepancies. So when you cross post, let's say from Poshmark Canada to eBay Canada, the form might just be ever so slightly different. And so when you email us saying like, oh, I need help with this, it's like we can't exactly help that situation. So it works really well. I would say it works 98% of the time, but there are some discrepancies. However, we're working quickly to expand to other countries, so coming soon. Thank you for your love from our neighbor up north. Okay. Any other questions that come in, you guys, please let us know. I have a lot of people from Canada. Do you have a lot of fans in Canada?
Maybe I do, not that I know of.
Okay, will this live be saved? Yes, it will. We'll be posting it to our Instagram TV section. Okay, those are all the questions for today. Angel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor. I've loved it.
We have loved having you too. Okay, well, have a great rest of your night, everyone. And don't forget to tune in next week for another super seller.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.